Here is my tactical investor spreadsheet, and on this spreadsheet I am showing the trend portfolio. I do have extra tabs on my big spreadsheet that has the ETF portfolio and the others, but I wanted to point out a couple of things about this spreadsheet. First off, you'll notice that I'm currently on the column L3, which is this column over here, and you'll notice that that has the full stock call out of that particular stock on line 3. What's interesting about that is up here there's a data type stocks, and if you type in the symbol ECHO and then you click on data stocks, it'll actually convert ECHO to a live reference to the stock price. So what I've done here on the G field is that you'll see that it's calculated as column L3 and dot price. So the cool thing about this is that if I come up and I say refresh all the stock symbols will be refreshed to their current price. So in one fell swoop you can get updates on the current pricing. And what I've done is I've actually taken a percentage of the current price and I've divided that into what I call the average buy column, which is the average price that the stock newsletter recommends that you pay for the stocks. So this percentage isn't really meaningful other than it gives you an idea how far away from a buy signal you are. For example, you'll notice down here I have a conditional formatting to turn things red if they go negative. And actually in this case, red is a good thing because the Intel recommendation was to purchase at an average buy price of $56.50, and you can see that the current price is $49.57. So what this red negative 13.98% indicates is this is a strong buy for Intel. Now what had happened yesterday is, and I'm looking at currently the date is July 27th. What happened yesterday on July 27th of 2020 is that there was some news announced and Intel stock crashed by 18%, which put it below the threshold that the buy recommendation of $56.50 told you to buy it. So in this case, my automatic order did execute, and over here in the right-hand column, I indicate that I've purchased the stock for $50.59. And so that gave me my first buy in the portfolio. And that's what this shaded red means. All the green is taking from the tactical newsletter. Green means the recommended stocks. And then if they're red, which some of the secondary candidates are in red, that indicates they're higher risk. So that's straight from the newsletter. A couple other features I want to show you is that I'm calling this a heap amount because I found the term lot amount very confusing. They sometimes use the word lot to mean your total lot amount, which I'm using $10,000. And sometimes they refer to a third of a lot as a lot, which is, sort of the normal buy recommendation is to buy 1/3. So what I'm doing is I'm calling the bigger number 10,000, and you can populate this. If you have a smaller portfolio, you could put in 1,000, or if you have a bigger, you can put in 100,000. And then it automatically takes 0.33 of that number and recommends that you buy 3,300 of Echo, which is one lot, which is what the recommendation was. And then to make things easier, I key in his low buy and his high buy, 1920 to 2010, and calculate an average. And I'm using the average because I don't know whether I want to buy it low or buy it high. I figure if it goes into the average range, then I'm safe for now. And you can see that right now there's no danger of this limit order executing because the price would have to discount by 26% in order to get into the buy range for the average buy. But one of the things I do is I actually do a rounding calculation where I divide the C3 column, the amount that I have to spend, $3,300 for, I guess I'm going to call that a sublot. So that $3,300 based on the price that we're going to execute at, which we want to buy at $19.65, the average buy price. And so it tells me that I'm going to need to buy 168 shares. And so what I do is when I actually place a limit order for that, then I put the limit order in the number that I've actually ordered. So I have active orders for 168 shares right now. And if that order executes, its cost will be 3301.20. And I just decided to put in a column here that showed the 52-week low of that stock. So it's gone in the last year as low as $14. And that kind of gives you a sense of, how the variability is occurring. There's lots of other fields you can pull. You can look over here to the right. There's a lot of data on the various automatic stock data that you can pull into your spreadsheet. But I found this spreadsheet helpful. It also, the big thing it does is when I scroll down, I can see that if I were to put in limit orders for everything in the trend recommendations, I would be allocating $95,000 for my orders. And that tells me how much of my capital will be tied up. In my case, when I place an order with Vanguard, if I don't have the funds to cover all these limit orders, it actually gives me an error. And now it turns out that you don't need all that cash because the only two orders that have executed so far are the Intel one, and then you'll see that the order for Cub executed, and that's because I cheated a little bit. The recommendation was for the buy to be $39.58, and I could see that based on my percentage column, it was getting really close to the recommended purchase price, and I was this was before Intel went down, I was kind of anxious to get my first buy at a discount. So I did something you probably shouldn't do, which is I chose to put a limit order in for $41.85. That order then executed, so I've actually overpaid for the stock slightly above the average buy, and in fact a little bit above where he recommended your high buy goes. But in this case, I don't care. I'm learning as I go along, and so the Cub order executed, and you'll notice I have a column over here. If the newsletter said that you're supposed to put in a stop, then that's listed over here. So I actually have to do that tomorrow. I have to go in and put a stop now that this Cub order is executed, so that if it hits 82, then it'll stop. I haven't done that yet, and I haven't figured out if there's a way to put a stop on an order that you haven't executed yet. I think the answer is no. So anyway, I'll make this spreadsheet available, and hopefully you guys find it useful.